A blaze like that is just part of life in a Florida pine forest, but it's hard to imagine that any animal could have survived that inferno.
I tell you what, I just managed to escape this fire. But I'm not the only one. Look what I found here. Oh. It's a pygmy rattlesnake. It's the smallest rattlesnake species. These areas are prone to fire, so these guys are quite used to it, and he found a way to hide in this hole and so escape the flames. Now, the reason I've come all the way to North Florida is to find the cousin of the snake, the biggest, meanest rattlesnake in the whole world, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. That's a snake that gets up to about 8 foot long. And that's what I'm hoping to get. And if he's feisty like this little guy is, then I know I'm going to have my hands full.
Ever since I can remember, I've been interested in dangerous and exotic wildlife. But for the past 10 years or so, I've earned my living from photography. Traveling from my home in southern Africa to the ends of the earth to photograph some of the rarest and deadliest creatures in the world. Plenty of people come to Florida to enjoy the sunshine. But I'm here because this is the best state in the whole of North America to find reptiles. And I'm looking for something really special. I have a month to find and photograph the world's largest rattlesnake, the eastern diamondback. The sooner I get started, the better. I'm heading northwest to the Apalachicola forest in the Florida Panhandle. I'm taking a 3-hour flight from Miami to Lake Seminole in South Georgia. From here, I'll follow the Apalachicola River back south through Florida towards the Gulf of Mexico. All my past encounters with rattlesnakes have been in desert environments, but the eastern diamondback lives in a different kind of habitat altogether. Finding a rattlesnake in this vast wilderness seems like an awesome challenge. Suddenly, a month doesn't feel like much time to find one. The only comfort I have is knowing that I'll be traveling through an area with the highest density of reptiles in all of North America. Whatever happens from now on, I know I'm in for some close encounters of the reptilian kind. The Apalachicola forest is wild and remote, but even here, human beings have made their presence felt. Something in the water. It's moving, but it's not. But it's floating. I can't see what it is. It's a snake, but he bit me straight away. Oh man, he's tangled up in the stuff.
Jeez, he bit me right on the finger. Immediately I grabbed him, both fingers. It's a brown water snake, it's a big snake. Wow, but look what's happened. Oh man, I wish these fishermen would be more careful with their stuff. There might be some hooks in here as well. That's a big brown water snake. He's got himself all twisted up in here. As I grabbed him, he just bit straight away. Not his fault, he's obviously in distress here. Wow. These snakes are amazing snakes. They're really good. They eat fish. They're good swimmers and they dive down and they actually catch fish. Eat big fish as well. This guy could eat a catfish about this size. They're amazing. But I've got to try and get this. It's all terribly tangled up here. The whole collection of stuff. This poor guy, he might have been drifting like this for days. Let's just see if I can do something about it and get him loose. They got big teeth as well. You've got to watch out. The problem is they're not venomous, but the teeth are very big for catching fish specifically, and they have a lot of bacteria always in that fish because of the nature of his prey. Wow, what a tangle. His head just stays that side so that he doesn't bite. He's actually pulled this into his body here. I have to be very careful. Wow. It's such a bad thing that fishermen so easily drop line and stuff into the water. Unfortunately, a lot of wildlife is affected by that. There we go. Oh, got him halfway. He's still got some gut on him. Oh, and he's a big boy. These guys are mean biters. I'll have to get him behind the head. Oh, I can feel it burning as well, just as if there's really maybe a tooth in there. I've still got one piece of gut tied on here. I'm so glad I spotted him. Got a chance to save something. I mean, this happens often in the oceans as well as in the rivers, you know. Fishing line gets tangled up in stuff, debris and stuff, and then animals get onto the debris and get tangled up as well. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad we saved him. Look at this body. Isn't he gorgeous? He's a massive snake. I mean, he's really big. The water snake, these brown water snakes, it's about the second biggest water snake they have in the United States. So I can just release him and he can swim off here because these guys are fine in the water. He'll probably swim to the shore. But I'll release him right here and see how he is. You'll soon see if his body, if his motion is smooth and even, then you'll know he's okay. He seems to be okay. He only bit that once. What I'll do, gently lower him. Oh, you'll see. Now he's keen to go. He's ready to go. All right, off you go, boy. There we go. Look at that. Down like a shot. You can just see him going there. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Well, okay, he's left me something to remember him by.
That bite feels like a warning. I need to stay alert. A bite from a giant eastern diamondback, and I'd be dead long before I could reach help. I've had a pretty unnerving start to my journey in search of the giant eastern diamondback rattlesnake. I've already been bitten by a water snake, but a couple of teeth sinking into your finger is a sharp reminder of the need to stay alert. Drop my guard with the snake I'm looking for, and I'll drop dead. I'm 3 days into my trip. It's time to extend my search away from the riverbanks and spend a day or two on dry land. There's something eerie about these remote woodlands. They extend for miles, and I feel like I could come across anything here. Even panthers still hunt in the forests of the Apalachicola Basin. It's a good thing I've got my basic survival kit as well as my camera with me, because it soon turns out that this forest is like a maze. I could easily get lost in here. So I'm pleased when I come across a creek to follow. At least this means I should be able to find my way back to the boat.
This is incredible. I may have found the source of the stream. Water coming straight out of this tunnel here. It's obviously cut its way through there over the thousands of years. I'm a bit nervous about tight little enclosed areas like this. Pretty claustrophobic. But it's always worth having a look just in case. Probably it's coming just out of the ground and there's no other way out, but I'll have a look. Pretty narrow, pretty tight squeeze, I see. Oh man, and it's slippery as well. Oh, and it's full of spiders. There's spiders everywhere. Oh man, this spider, he has a spider so big, it's a people-eating cave spider.
If there's one thing I like less than tight enclosed spaces, it's spiders. Double whammy.
This is a nightmare. Oh, there's a snake. Oh, it's a copperhead. There's a copperhead in here. Oh.
It's a tricky moment. I'm in a dark, confined space with spiders, and now there's a venomous snake as well. Time to find a way out of here.
Look what I got. It's a copperhead. A little bit of a tight squeeze here. I've got him on the stick, but he's turning back on me and he tries to take a bite at me every now and then. He's quite upset about being caught, but he's actually otherwise being well behaved, sitting on the stick here. So I'll just get him out here. Oh, I don't want him to strike at me now because he's not around the hook. I just changed that position so I'm a bit safer. There we go. That's more like it. Now I've got him. Isn't he gorgeous? He's one of the most beautiful snakes.
He's so angry he's taking a bite at everything. He's such a silly Billy, aren't we?
Oh, he just loves to get to my finger and he's working it out. He pulls himself around the tongs so that he winds himself, and look, he stretches out. He knows he's almost within range of my hand. Almost within range of my hand. I've got to let him go again and wind him back up to the beginning. It's a very clever snake. And he's so cross, he keeps biting. He's trying to bite the stick. Okay? All right, now he's not patterned this beautifully for no reason. He's patterned like this because this snake lives on the bottom of the forest. He stays within the leaves. So this is ideal now. His camouflage is exact, and I'm going to show you when I put him amongst the leaves exactly what it looks like, because I want to take some photos of him doing that. But I've got to get him out of here, get him up there in the leaf litter, and put him down and go and get my camera back on the other side there and see if I can get some good pictures. Now this looks like quite a nice spot just over here. What I actually want to do first is just see if I can get some pictures of the coloring, because their markings are so beautiful. This is not naturally how he would appear. You don't find these snakes up in trees. But just for getting this picture, it's not often you can see him exposed like this. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. That's a great shot. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now I can see the whole body pattern all in one. Okay, what I'm going to do is bring him down to where he actually belongs, on the leafy floor of the forest. This is why they are patterned like this, to be perfectly blending in with the floor. There we go. Bring him back. Come now. Oh, there we go. He's such a quick mover, this guy. He gets away so quick. But if he gets angry, this is something which is amazing. You watch his tail. Sometimes, if they get angry, they behave just like a rattlesnake. They shake their tails. But usually, he's relying on the leaves to be around his tail, and the shaking of the tail actually flickers onto the leaves like he's doing it there. Watch the tail. See that? See the tail action? And then he sounds almost like a rattlesnake. It could be that he's mimicking a rattlesnake and warning you, keep away, I'm dangerous. He does it every now and then. Watch it go. Oh, and he's striking at me. Come on, let me get a picture of that. You're going to strike at me while I photograph you? Try and do that. Let's get one. Oh. Let's go. Oh, right on my lens. Oh, man, look at the venom on the lens. Can you see that? He actually struck right against the lens. Both fangs right on that lens. Now, what I'd like to show you is the true nature of this coloring, which is so hard with such a dangerous snake now. Relax a bit. Come on. If he's actually not in motion, if he's lying in wait for prey, he's usually buried himself slightly into the leaves. And you won't even see the snake. It's incredible. You walk right past him. Now that's exactly how he might be. Of course, his head shouldn't be up like that. And any little rodent comes running past, that guy picks him up, picks up the warmth of the rodent's body with his heat receptors. And from that position, as you've seen, as he can strike so quickly, he would lunge out, grab the mouse, and have it straight away. That's the kind of picture I would like, from above, looking down, to see how he actually is camouflaged. You can actually not see the snake, you just see a collection of leaves. That's incredible. It's not as well done as he would do it himself, obviously. He would dig into the ground very carefully, and all this leaf litter would be all over him, and it would be much better done. But it gives you an idea to see how perfectly he's designed to be in this forest floor. Just put some stuff over. Put your head down. All I can do is get one more shot of his face as he moves on. That's it. So what I'm going to do is take him back to his cave. After all of this, it's the least I can do for the snake. Take him back to where he was most happy. And I'm glad I got enough pictures now just to get him by the tail, so as not to end up with a snake bite picture. There we go.
All right, and once I've got him on the stick like that, he's quite comfortable. Say goodbye to us, boy. We're on our way. Flickers his tongue. What's that thing over there? Is it something I should bite? Should I bite it? All right, he's been pretty good. I'll take him and put him back where he belongs. So just gather my cameras up here. All right, back to your cave you go.
What a thrill. I've always wanted to find a copperhead. But that tail rattling has reminded me of my real purpose in being here. To find a giant eastern diamondback rattlesnake. I'm going to take this search a step further, into Florida's most famous environment, its alligator-filled swamps. I'm 2 weeks into my journey, and my search for the giant eastern diamondback rattlesnake has led me to one of the most mysterious and forbidding places I've ever been. Rattlesnakes are good swimmers, and something about this place tells me this is where I'll find the snake I've been looking for. But after a few days of searching in my canoe, I'm beginning to get frustrated. Here I am in this pristine wilderness, a haven for reptiles, and there isn't a diamondback in sight. But I can't let my guard down. In an alligator-filled swamp, you never know what you're going to come across, or what might come across you.
It's a monster! I think I'm standing on it. I don't know what's up for my hand. I've got him. Yeah, I've got him. This guy's a monster. I bet you think I've got an alligator. I haven't. I've got the next best thing. It's an alligator snapping turtle. And if you look at his jaws, he makes an alligator look silly. Look at the size of the head of this thing. I've got to bring him in. He is strong as anything. And he's digging into the ground as I pull into the mud. God, look at the size of this guy. He must weigh about 80 kilos. There we go. That is one of the biggest freshwater turtles in the whole world. And don't even think this guy's big, because I know they get up to about 200 pounds. Can you believe that? And look at the size of this head. They got the biggest heads of any turtle in the world, and their jaws are tremendously powerful. And the way these guys actually catch their prey, if you look inside his mouth, there's a tiny little red nodule over there, and he will lure the prey in there. He sits under the water, on the floor, jaws wide open. Keeps this little red goodie going over there, attracts a fish or anything else that's interested. Comes right into his jaws and he just shoots forward, snaps it. You do not let your hand or any part of you get closer. Now have a look at those claws. These guys don't actually swim, they actually walk along the bottom of the rivers. And he's got tremendously powerful claws. They can scratch their way through the bottom, digging through mud, digging through logs, digging through everything, not a problem at all. And to come up for air, they usually stay in fairly shallow water. And they just raise the head and stick just the nose out. Sometimes you just see the tip of the nose sticking out, and the whole rest of the turtle's under the water. The only time these guys ever come out of the water at all is the females when they come and lay eggs. They lay eggs on the side of the bank. Just want to see what he's... Oh, how's your jaw? He's still got some stuff in there. Oh, can I get it up? Oh, look at that. Can you believe that? That's impossible.
Get it, spit it out now. Spit it out. Oh, no, man. I'm trying to help you. I want to get it out. Get it out, get it out. I'm soon going to be out of stick. Can you believe the power of this guy? Yeah, spit it out. That's a good boy. I think it's clearer now. Is your jaw clear? Just imagine getting your hand in there. I can't even think about it. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just put him back where I brought him from, back in the swamp, and let him go about his way. But before I do that, have a look at the guy. Have a look at the size of this guy. If I can do this, if I can pick him up. Imagine 1, 2, or 3 times the size. Oops. Okay, back into the pool, my boy. I'll put him around right here. That's it. Oh, there we go. Ah, and off you go, boy. There we go. Oh, he's turning on me. He's turning on me. Can't let him come towards me. He'll take my leg off. See that? He knows instinctively. Turn around and he can get me. I'm going to push him away from me. Take him by the tail and lead him away. There he goes, like a wheelbarrow. Off you go, boy. Off you go. What an experience that was. Wow.
My encounter with a turtle has spurred me on. It's proof that you never know what to expect out here. These swamps are literally teeming with life. They're an irresistible place to explore. Everywhere I look, I see creatures on the move. I just know that elusive eastern diamondback rattlesnake must be out there somewhere. It's just a question of time. With time running out in my quest for the giant eastern diamondback rattlesnake, I've decided to widen my search and explore a whole new habitat. Summer's really taken a hold here, and as these swamps dry out, you get raised islands of exposed land appearing, the perfect place for hungry snakes to go hunting.
Here's a clue. Bit of shed snakeskin. Difficult to tell exactly what it is. Obviously been here a while. I knew this was a good snake area when I came here. Now, at certain times of year, this is very deep in water. The water floods over here. It could be 10 foot deep or more. And when it drains away, then there's a lot of pools left over, and there's a lot of frogs and stuff breeding in there. And there's a lot of turtles and everything. There's rats, mice, everything you need. And there's snakes coming in and they feed on these animals. So you could expect rattlesnakes. This might be a moccasin. You could get rat snakes. You could get all kinds of snakes coming in here. So I definitely knew when I was coming here it's the right type of area. And all these trees, they're hollow trees. A lot of them are hollow inside. Water floods in, they rot on the inside, the water drains away, and it's perfect hiding places for snakes. So I'm going to do a bit of searching through all these trees. I know it's a good area, and this proves it, no question about it. And definitely it's snake country.
I feel sure I'm hot on the trail of a diamondback now, but I can't let my own impatience get the better of me. I need to explore these tupelo and cypress trees with extreme caution. Venomous snakes do not always give a warning before they strike. Some remain silent, and their first line of defense could be a couple of fangs striking into my flesh. That's why I need my tongs, so that any snake I find can be gently handled at arm's length, and neither of us come to any harm.
Oh, I see movement. Oh, I can definitely see movement. Oh, there's definitely a snake in there, but I don't know what it is. I just can't reach. I can actually see his tail going past it. I think the only thing I can do is get in the top. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Oh, these old trees are completely hollow inside. Oh man, and I don't want to drop down on the snake. I don't know what it is yet. It might be a harmless snake, or it might be something dangerous. Yeah, I'm in. Oh, I can see it. Yeah, I've definitely got a snake. Ah. 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 Okay. Oh, it's a copper. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a cottonmouth. Oh, man, and he's not happy. I've got him. Oh, man, he's striking at me. Jeez, I haven't got boots on. He's really bad tempered. Watch out, guys. I'm going to have to pass the snake out. I'm going to have to bring him out, and I'm going to have to come out the top. And I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to have to catch him again. And he's striking like mad. He's very careful. He's got really upset. He's really upset. Okay, here I come. I just got to get out of here really quickly now. I hope I can. I don't want the snake to go too far. Oh, I can see him. Okay, he's not moving. That's fine. Okay, I got him. Oh, he wants to go. Come on. Oh, look at that gaping mouth. This is exactly what you need to see immediately. That's why it's called a cottonmouth. If you look inside the mouth, you'll actually see that white interior. He's really mad. These guys are very, very fast striking snakes. Incredibly fast. I've got to be very careful. I haven't got boots on. See that tail action? Same thing. Duplicating what a rattlesnake might do. Shaking his tail. There he goes again. See that? Put that amongst leaves and it sounds just like a rattlesnake's tail. Incredible. Now these guys are very dangerous. They've got a very powerful venom. It's got a lot of cytotoxins in it which cause a lot of tissue damage. It's not a snake to get bitten by. Okay, so if I can catch this guy behind the head, I might just be able to show you very clearly what the interior of that mouth looks like. But I'm a little bit nervous about doing that because they are extremely unpredictable snakes. And if he jerks out of the tongs, I'm not likely to be able to hold his head. So I want to be very clear about this and make sure if I get him down there and I've got a good grip. There we go. Now he's really mad. I know he doesn't like this and I've got to be very, very careful. I've got to get this just right. Okay. There we go. Maybe I can give you... There, he's even opening his mouth on his own accord. The mouth is perfectly white. The sheaths that... Oh, he's so cross. The sheaths that cover the fangs are also white, and they cover the fangs, and if they bite, they get pushed back like that, okay? So, you open the mouth like that, you see all the white, and if those sheaths are pushed back, then you clearly see the fangs there, which are little needle fangs. They bite, inject the venom, of course, and pull back very quickly. And you only need a drop of venom from each of those fangs, and you're really in serious trouble. Okay, so when he's really angry and just stands like this with the mouth wide open, bright white like that, you know you've got an angry cottonmouth. Okay, inside the mouth as well, it's difficult to show. But you have rows of teeth in the upper jaw, which I'm just touching on over there. Rows on that side as well. Oh, and he wants to bite. And rows down on the bottom here. So you can grab a fish, you can grab a mouse, you can grab any animal. He's got plenty of teeth to hold on to while he injects venom.
The Florida cottonmouth may have a deadly bite, but it doesn't always need to use it. Most snakes prefer live prey, but this is one of the few that will feed on carrion, even decomposing flesh. When the swamps dry up, there are plenty of stranded fish to feed on. But during leaner times, the cottonmouth will even resort to eating roadkill.
That's what you want. What a shot. Yes, that's what I've been looking for. That's fantastic. Oh, now he's gaping for me as well. Look at that. Oh, and I'm too late. Oh, look at that. Got it. Isn't that fantastic? Oh, now he's doing it. Look at that. Isn't that what I want? Shape for me. Go on. Oh, see how quickly he learns, eh? He just does it once or twice and then stops. You can't fool these guys for too long. I'm just nervous about this guy because I know he's looking at me. I know he's acting like there's nothing wrong. At any minute he could just strike out in my hands, definitely within range. So let me rather not take more chances with that. And all snakes are really wonderful and beautiful, you know. This guy's really mean. He's not too happy with me at all. It's hard to find anything cuddly about a snake like this, I must say.
It was definitely time to move on. I've been fascinated by snakes all my life, so an 8-foot-long eastern diamondback rattlesnake is something I just have to see. And I've yet to explore Apalachicola's ancient pine forests. That's a habitat I know is really good for rattlesnakes. This isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. In the event of a bite, I need to know I can get to the nearest medical help as quickly as possible. I cannot risk being here without a working boat. I've got to try and get out of here, right now. My boat has broken down. It's costing me a whole day getting it back to harbor, and I have no idea how long repairs might take. It's a relief to have made it out of the swamps in one piece, but I don't want to leave Florida without seeing a monster rattler. In spite of this setback, I'm not about to give up. Well, my boat's in for repair, but it's not serious. They've told me it'll be ready tomorrow. Actually, I'm quite enjoying being in civilization after being in swamps for such a long period. And while I've been here, it's been very interesting. I've been speaking to some fishermen back here, and they've told me about some encounters with rattlesnakes here on these islands out here. Now, I've been looking on the map, and there's a whole string of islands all around the coast. And if there are encounters with rattlesnakes here, it might be worthwhile just going across the islands and having a look into the story. It'll be something different, and I am here tomorrow. We'll get my boat. I might as well do it. This has got to be the craziest place I'd ever expect to find a giant rattlesnake. But sometimes crazy things turn out to be true. It's definitely a snake. It's too shallow to take the boat in. That's a giant rattlesnake. He looks exhausted. He looks totally exhausted. He's got himself all puffed up, and he's actually just standing looking at me. Look at that. He's not even trying to strike. He's not blowing or anything. He's probably been swimming for hours, man. I don't know what's the story. He's either heading for that island, come from the mainland, or he's been blown out by some winds. Maybe he was trying to cross from the mainland to the island or the opposite way around. Wow, he's still got a lot of strength in him, though. He's ginormous. These are the biggest rattlesnakes in North America, but I've never seen one this size. Just look at the size of this guy. Isn't he gorgeous? Unbelievable. His head's the size of my fist. That's a giant snake. And if I can get him onto the beach, I'd love to do some photography with this guy. Okay, let me see if I can carry him out to the boat quickly. There we are, boy. You just stay here a little bit. Stunned by this bizarre meeting, I'd almost forgotten what I'm dealing with. One bite from a snake like this, and it could be my last encounter ever. A weird twist of fate had led me to my giant rattlesnake. But I got sloppy. I lost my concentration and almost made a fatal mistake. I can't believe I found him in the sea. I finally got my eastern diamondback rattlesnake. I finally got one. It looks like I might have got one of the biggest ones there is as well. Isn't that unbelievable? Just get him to behave. We've got to be very careful now, because now he's on land. He's got a chance where if he's mad and he gets rattled, that he can actually strike at me. Just see what his temperament is and see how he is. The most incredible thing, what I've been hearing from these people on the mainland is that they do quite often encounter rattlesnakes on these islands. These guys we know are very good swimmers, and they get very big, so they've got a lot of strength, and they've got the ability to actually cross from island to island, or even from the mainland to the island. That's incredible. We don't know exactly why these guys are doing that, but these are diurnal snakes. They move around in the day. They feed on all kinds of mammals. They'll feed on virtually anything that moves that's warm-blooded. And on these islands, of course, there's a lot of small mammals, including rats, rabbits, and mice. So I could imagine that there's plenty of food out here, but whether he knows that and actually comes out to the island to find food, that's a mystery. I have no idea why these snakes are actually coming out these islands. But if you have a real close look now, you can clearly see why it's called a diamondback rattlesnake. I mean, look at these diamonds here. Perfectly marked. Now that he's drying off as well, a bit of sand stuck on him. You can see the pattern there exactly, and it goes all the way through, and it's clearly a diamond pattern. Really nice. And next to his eyes, on the jaws, they've always got this double line.
But what is interesting with this guy is the tail. Look at this rattle that he's got. He's been buzzing at me here, and it's been very quiet, because a rattlesnake this size usually has a rattle about that size. Because every time a snake like this sheds his skin, he actually leaves one of these little buds behind. Look, he's trying, as I touch it, he's trying to rock it. I can feel it buzzing in here. It's like a cell phone buzzing, unbelievable. But he's lost his rattle. By moving around and possibly buzzing and hitting rocks, stones, sand, whatever, these rattles break off. So you can't actually tell how many times he has really shed and how old the snake actually is. I would imagine he's 10, 15, maybe even 20 years old. Snakes live a long time. You know what is amazing? Because they become so big, this is probably the only rattlesnake that can eat rabbits. And an interesting fact, in other parts of Florida, where their habitat has been decimated, the snakes have been killed off, they're finding that there are a lot more rabbits than there used to be. And that's typical unbalance in nature. As soon as you kill a snake or some other animal, it affects something else. And you'll soon see we'll have an overpopulation of rabbits. Look at that. That is a magnificent snake. Really magnificent snake. Wow, he's starting to get active. He wants to move on me. Don't come too close. You know, sometimes rattlesnakes just play it cool for a while, gets warmed up, and then suddenly strikes out. So you've got to be careful all the time. And when the tail's rattling like that, it's a little bit hairy. He might just be gearing up. So I better just take one or two more pictures. That's incredible stuff. That's fantastic. He's gorgeous. He's absolutely stunning. Okay. Oh, he's really getting angry now. This guy's warming up. I got to be warned. This snake is dangerous now. He's got his strength back. He's warmed up. Snakes are cold-blooded, of course. As soon as he's cold, he calms down. You warm them up, they get much more active, and he's ready to go. Now he's looking at me with a different eye, saying, hey, who's this guy, you know? Let me go. I want to go back on the beach. Look at that. Look at the buzz. And he's only got this tiny piece of rattle. If he had a long rattle on there now, it would be much louder. But he's got this little piece left. Okay, now, like all these rattlesnakes, they are, of course, pit vipers. But this guy's so big. See if you can see that pit. It's between the eye and the nostril, but it's enormous. It's the size of a full scale. Oh, I'm just a bit nervous. I'm getting my hands closer and closer here. I want to control him. He's so big, you can't hold the whole body. But if you can see between the eye and the nostril, you can actually see that pit. It's an enormous pit, and that's his heat receptor. He can pick up the body warmth of any animal going within a certain distance. And he could even find that animal and strike it in the dark. He doesn't even have to see, because those heat receptors tell him exactly where the animal is. Now, with all the big snakes that I've found all over the world, I'm always fascinated by their fangs. Because these guys get so big, and different snakes like the gaboon vipers in Africa have enormous fangs. The lancehead vipers in South America, enormous fangs. But this guy is the biggest venomous snake in North America. He's a well-behaved snake. I think he's still suffering from the effects of being floating out. Maybe for days he's been floating out at sea. You want to have a look at my camera quickly while you go? There he goes, past my camera. I'm going to let him just move off. Past my camera, off you go. On your own time. And that's it. That was fantastic. I found my rattlesnake, a giant rattlesnake. He was really well behaved. I had a really good look at him, and I've never seen one bigger than that. So I'm claiming a world record for me over here. Thanks, boy. Off you go. In your own time. Onto the island. Death to those rats out there. That was an incredible experience.
When I started this journey in search of the giant eastern diamondback rattlesnake, I never thought I'd end up finding one here in the sea. But perhaps I shouldn't be so surprised to have such an unexpected end to what has been a truly amazing journey. I had found and photographed North America's largest rattlesnake, and more importantly, lived to tell the tale.